Hey everybody, this is Kirsten here, and today we're continuing to talk about ice baths, and more specifically I'm going to share with you 10 benefits of ice baths. The last two videos that I did right from the ice bath. I was sitting in the tub and talking to you. Today's video is not going to be in an ice bath because it's going to be a longer one. I don't want to sit in a tub for 10 minutes or more, which is a great reminder that you don't have to take long ice baths. I know sometimes people get really competitive with it. This is kind of like a cool thing to brag about. I did it for 12 minutes. You don't have to do it for 12 minutes to get the benefits. We recommend that you do it for 2 minutes. And that if you want to do a little bit longer, cool, 3, 4 if you feel fine, but there's no need to break records. Just leave your ego out of it. But the goal is to feel better, right? You don't want to recover it from forever. And I've noticed it sometimes when I've stayed in for a very long time, then also I just feel cold for such a long time. It takes forever to warm up and I don't do it anymore. 3, 4 minutes is enough, of course, depending on the temperature. I typically take my ice baths that are between 32 to 40 normally. All right, but moving on to today's topic, which is 10 benefits of ice baths. So let's do it. Benefit number 1 is improved immunity. And this is something that I think most of us are very interested in. Who wouldn't want to have better immune system? A lot of us have grown up with this idea that cold will make you sick, right? When you're little, maybe you lived in a cold weather or climate, and your parents always told you, get inside or put more clothes on because cold will make you sick. No, it's not actually true. Cold can actually build your immune system. There was a study where they had a group of people take cold shower after the regular hot shower, and then the other group who did not take that cold shower after their hot shower. And what the results showed was that those who did take a cold shower needed 29% less sick days compared to the other group. The second really cool example is the one that Wim Hof did. So if you don't know who he is, he's also known as the Iceman. He's a guy who has been talking about ice baths and the way the breathing exercise that he's been doing for a very long time. He's been practicing this himself for probably over 40 years at this point. Yes, definitely more than 40 years at this point. And what he did was that he let the scientists inject him with the E. coli bacteria, which was expected to give him bad flu-like symptoms. He didn't get those symptoms. And then at first, the scientists just labeled him as a nature freak. He's different, but he said, okay, give me a group of people and I will train them and they will get the same results. So what he did was that he trained a group of people in his method, which is cold showers, ice baths, and then meditation and breathing techniques. And then 10 days after, they did the same experiment. Now, this group of people who did the ice baths and breathing exercises didn't get nearly as bad symptoms as the ones who didn't do any of that. Then those people were sick. Getting into the cold will improve your immune system, which is something that we are absolutely, all of us, interested in. The second benefit of ice baths is better cold tolerance. If you're somebody who is always cold, your hands and feet are always cold, the tip of your nose is always cold, then you may benefit from taking regular ice baths. I've definitely noticed it in myself. I used to be more cold more often, but now it's not that big of a deal anymore. At night, I don't want to wear a lot of clothes. I usually only need one blanket. I don't just need a lot of stuff anymore. What's super interesting about this point is that even people with Raynaud's disease have been able to reverse that disease. So if you don't know what that is, this is a disease where certain parts of the body, usually hands and feet, get really, really cold. These areas of the body can get really just white and numb. There's no sensation in there because the blood circulation is really poor. Now, I'm not a doctor, so huge disclaimer here. Always talk to your doctor. But there are people who have reversed their Raynaud's disease by getting into the cold regularly. And it may sound totally counterintuitive, like why would I get into a cold if I'm so afraid of it, if I respond so poorly to it? But there are people who have done this, and I will also find a video where somebody talks about it so you can check it out yourself. But like I said, always talk to your doctor. I am not one, so make sure that you know what you're doing. Reason number 3 why you should be taking regular ice baths is faster metabolism. Isn't that awesome? I think everybody wants to have faster metabolism, especially if you have a fat loss goal, then you probably want to have a more flexible, more faster metabolism. There are a couple of ways how ice baths can help you achieve that. So first of all, when you think about it, when you get into the ice cold water, your body is going to create a lot of heat to keep itself warm. And that makes total sense. That means increased metabolism. The second one is probably less known, and this is brown fat production. Now, brown fat is different from white fat. White fat is the one that most of us want to have less of in the body, right? But brown fat is different. Brown fat tissue actually burns energy. It's more active tissue. It creates heat. It wasn't very long time ago when the scientists actually realized that we are, in fact, able to increase the amount of brown fat we have in our bodies. Because previously it was thought that only babies have it. Babies are born with a lot of brown fat, but then it starts to go down and we have less and less of it. And they just did not know that as adults, we can actually also increase the amount of brown fat we have in our body. But now the studies have shown that by getting into cold water regularly, that will increase the amount of brown fat that we have. So this is also very helpful for increasing our metabolism, burning more calories, producing more heat. Now, this can of course lead to weight loss and fat loss, but I want to make sure that you know that it has to be combined with good exercise and good diet. So this is why it is important to train so that you focus on muscle building, do resistance training, and also eat a good diet. If needed, track your macronutrients and keep your protein definitely high. Very, very helpful. I don't think that you're going to see massive weight loss from ice baths or cold showers alone. It has to be combined with other lifestyle choices as well. But I do know that there are people who have found this very, very helpful in helping them to increase their metabolism and get better fat loss results. The fourth benefit of ice baths is better insulin sensitivity and better blood sugar balance. Why do we want to have our cells sensitive to insulin? The reason is that that's the way where sugar gets into our cells and can be used as energy. Because if the body is not insulin sensitive and it is insulin resistant, it just does not happen. Then we have this extra blood sugar, glucose in our body, and that can cause a lot of issues. There are people who have shown how getting into the ice bath takes their blood sugar down immediately. So for example, and I will link to this in the comments below or in the description below, there is one person who shared that his blood sugar level was 252 milligrams per deciliter before getting into the ice bath. And the second he got in there, it dropped to 146. So this can be very, very helpful for people with type 2 diabetes, for example. I've heard great stories. I've heard great success stories about that. I have not dealt with type 2 diabetes myself, but I did have in the past issues with insulin sensitivity. I did not, unfortunately, know about ice baths back then and that they can help, but I know the negative health effects that can come from it. So for me personally, I had really bad period cramps, and I learned only later that this was a blood sugar regulation issue. So then I started doing strength training. I put on a lot more muscle. I changed my diet. I increased my protein intake, and I became more insulin sensitive and my blood sugar issues went away. I no longer woke up in the morning having fasting blood sugar of 110 milligrams per deciliter. Now they are around 84, 85. Just tested it this morning. However, like I said, I didn't do ice baths back then. I got really great results with strength training and changing my diet, starting tracking macros and increasing my protein. But I am absolutely sure that ice baths would have helped as well. There was an interesting study where they took a group of people. These people had problems with insulin sensitivity. And what they did with one group was that they put them in the room that was cold. And then every day they took down the temperature a little bit and put them in this room again. So over the course of, I think it was 10 days, those who spent some time in that cold room showed better insulin sensitivity. So this is again to show that cold can really help with that. Ice bath benefit number 5 is faster workout recovery. This is especially important for athletes who have just pushed really hard and their main goal is to be recovered as well as possible for their next training session, take the inflammation level down. So this is the person who will benefit from an ice bath. A big caveat here, if you're somebody whose goal is to build muscle, stronger, fitter, leaner look, you focus on aesthetics, you don't want to do an ice bath right after you have worked out because of the same reason. It will take down the inflammation. Now, coming back to this athlete, or let's say that you ran your marathon, you're probably not going to do heavy strength training and your goal with the marathon was not to build crazy amount of muscle, right? After that, it's going to be great. It will help you to recover faster. But remember, if your goal is muscle building, wait for at least 2 or 3 hours before you do your ice bath after you have done that workout. A really interesting thing that I read about on Morozko Method website was that the two owners did a really interesting experiment. So they actually took ice baths before they did their workouts. And what they found is that they increased their testosterone levels. So definitely something that many men are interested in, but also testosterone is important for women too, because that gives us the drive, the excitement to do things. And it's, everybody needs testosterone. It's just, of course, women are way lower in testosterone than men are. But keep in mind that this result is very interesting. It was first ice bath and then working out. And you can also experiment with that and see how that feels like. I have personally found that I feel better energy and I can lift a little bit more when I have done an ice bath before doing a workout session. Of course, you still want to warm up so you don't pull anything. But in general, I feel like for me, it's like the energy, it's the more excitement. It's more like I'm in the zone. And this is why workouts often feel better as well. But coming back to my first point, if your goal is muscle building, don't do the ice bath right after a workout. If you just did a long cardio workout or something that you just want to recover from that as quickly as possible, then ice bath after that is going to be a great idea. Ice bath benefit number 6 is inflammation reduction. We just talked about it when we talked about workout recovery, but also this is very important for people with autoimmune diseases, for example. A lot of modern diseases are caused by high inflammation levels in the body, which comes, from the food, from the environment, cosmetics, all that kind of stuff. Inflammation is a big deal. And especially those who have some sort of autoimmune disease will benefit from ice baths a lot. Again, I'm not a doctor, always talk to your doctor, but this is what I have seen and heard people talk about. So, for example, Adrienne Jezik, who is one of the owners of Morozko Forge, she reversed 3 autoimmune diseases by taking regular ice baths. One of them was Hashimoto's, which is not that rare. It's actually pretty common. So she reversed all of them. And just recently she shared with me that she has also reversed some of her food allergies. For years, she could not eat eggs, and now she can eat eggs. And she credits ice baths for it. She's been taking ice baths regularly for 4 years now. She also lost 40 pounds in the process, and she's feeling so much better. So she reversed 3 autoimmune diseases, which shows how amazing the anti-inflammatory benefits of ice baths can really be. Ice bath benefit number 7 is feeling happier. Oh yes, it's that simple. So for me personally, this was one of the 2 main things why I really stuck with it. I'm going to get to the next one in a minute. But feeling happier was so instant. The effect that you get from getting into the ice and you get out of it and you are just feeling like $1,000,000. And for me, it was so important because before I got started, I was pretty anxious. I had quite a bit of depression going on. I was nervous a lot. I was anxious a lot. And I just had started feeling so hopeless. I didn't know, what to do or where to go, because I knew that I didn't want to take anything that doesn't belong in my body. I didn't want to take that route. I'm not judging anybody who does. Just for me personally, it wasn't the way to go. And so I started taking ice baths, and this is the longer story how I got there. But what I noticed every time is that I immediately felt better. I felt happier. In the very beginning when I started, I would literally dance around an apartment because I just felt so freaking amazing. It's good energy. It's positive energy. It's like I can do things. I want to do things now. I have higher drive, higher motivation, and you're also more present at the same time. People who have depression and anxiety, they are often low in something called norepinephrine. This is the neurotransmitter that increases the excitement and arousal. So if you're somebody who's often kind of low mood and don't want to do anything and life just feels blah, there's a good chance that your norepinephrine level is too low. And this is something that ice bath can absolutely help you with. And this is instant. Better mood is what you feel immediately. The second you get out, you just notice how clear your mind is, how much happier you are, how much better you feel. So this is a big one, and probably the number 1 reason why after I tried it, I really stuck with it. Ice bath benefit number 8 is better sleep. So this is the second reason why I personally kept going back for more, because I noticed that my sleep got so much better. So why is that? Let's talk for a second about our autonomic nervous system. So it has two branches to it. One is called parasympathetic, the other one is called sympathetic. Let's actually start from the sympathetic. So this is the side of your autonomic nervous system that gets activated when you do something that excites you, but also something that stresses you. So for example, you may get things like faster heart rate, your blood pressure will go up. Blood sugar too. You're feeling like you're ready to jump into action. This is where most of us actually spend a lot of time in this higher alert, go mode, and the body is ready to jump into action. Now, parasympathetic is exactly the opposite of it. This is where we feel rest and chill, and our heart rate slows down, our breathing slows down. We just feel like, I can relax now. And this is unfortunately where most of us don't spend enough time in, and this is why we get a lot of health issues that we're dealing with. A lot of very stressed out people, anxious people, depressed people, people whose bodies don't respond to diet and exercise, for example, because they are just so highly stressed out, inability to focus, all that kind of stuff, because people spend too much time with an activated sympathetic mode. Now, what ice baths do is that they put us into the parasympathetic more often. This is where we rest and relax and chill. You start to feel relaxed and you calm down. And this is where we know that we have activated the parasympathetic response. And how does it translate into our sleep? To sleep well, we have to be more relaxed, right? When we are always on high alert, super stressed out, no good sleep is gonna happen there. I think everybody has probably seen that, experienced that. When you have a period of higher stress in your life, you are not sleeping well. When things are going well, you're chilling, you're feeling great about things, then you sleep better. This was your 8th benefit of ice baths, and personally, the one for me that is really important. The benefit number 9 is mental resilience. I think it makes a lot of sense. If you're able to do something really, really difficult, to overcome something that you didn't think you could overcome, such as getting into ice cold water, of course it builds resilience and you feel stronger because of it. And honestly, it's very similar to, for example, going to the gym and then lifting weights and maybe hitting a new PR because you didn't know that you can do this. And then you tried and you were able to do this. So this is kind of like the evidence that you can experience in your own life. I did something really difficult. What else can I do? It has a big carryover to the rest of your life. So this is the next benefit that you can get from practicing ice baths regularly. And the last 10th benefit of regular ice baths is better stress management. Of course, all these things together that I just mentioned, all the 9 things, will help you to bring your stress level down, but you also probably notice it in everyday situations, small situations. So for example, things that used to freak you out easily or make you anxious easily, they just don't matter that much anymore. You just have this calmer, more relaxed approach to life, and you're just more chill overall, which I think is very important for a lot of people because, like I just mentioned, when we're talking about the sympathetic and parasympathetic activation, so many people are very much on high alert all the time. This is why they cannot manage their stress well. Getting into an ice bath regularly, or just taking even cold showers regularly, or you can of course do it in nature too, getting a cold lake, cold water. This will have a great positive impact on your ability to manage your stress. So there you have it, 10 benefits of ice baths. I hope you found this helpful. If you would like to get started with cold water exposure, then I do have a 5-day cold water challenge that you can do at your own pace. So start whenever you like to. I will put this in the description below and join me there. So thank you so much for listening and watching. I'll see you next time.